Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Genesis Podcast. I'm your host, DJ Briscoe, and I'm back again. It's been a little while, but I'm here. Not too long, but a little bit of a break between this podcast, the last one that I did. But I'm back again, and I want to thank all those that have supported me through the first couple of podcasts and sent their comments and just give their insight on this. This is something that I love to do, so hey, let's get this going. So let's do it. So first and foremost, I want to send a shout out to the sponsor of this podcast. This is sponsored by Anchor FM, also sponsored by BeatFakMusic. Once again, this podcast will be available on YouTube. Check YouTube. Go on New Chapter, which is NUCHAPTOR on YouTube. So once again, NUCHAPTOR, New Chapter. So type that in, click, you'll find the episode there. And also, it will be available on Audio Mac. Unfortunately, I had some issues with putting on episode 4, but those issues have been rectified. So this episode here, which will be episode 5, will be available on Audio Mac. So check that out. The link will be available on the bottom of the YouTube link. And yeah, so let's just get this started. Social media. I think this is an interesting topic that a lot of people have been, talking about, avoiding, here and there, this and that, sarah, and, once again, before I continue, as I said, I'm starting this podcast. As I continue this podcast, this will be a short, lengthy podcast, if you say 15 to 20 minutes, so you're not going to get that hour like you do, or 2 hours, like you usually do. You probably usually listen to, but like I said, I'm a rookie at this, so let me just let me go through and bear with me. All right, so let's do this. Social media. A lot of people have this theory that social media is the cause of so many issues, whether it's personal issues, whether it's social issues, whether it's all kinds of issues. People have used social media as the catalyst to for so many ridiculous and egregious results in situations. People have used social media to say that their relationship hasn't worked out, or their marriage hasn't worked out, or friendships, or they didn't get the job, or all this kind of stuff. There's a bevy of things that people have used social media for, but the positive aspects of it people never talk about. For example, motivational quotes, or an inspirational story, or a clip from a song that somebody posts that could change your day or change your mindset on how you look at the day, or even perceive life from that point on. Or just somebody trying to start a business, and instead of, dogging them, instead of support. That's another part I'm going to talk about, supporting people in businesses and stuff. But to continue with the social media thing, here's where I'm going to go with this social media thing. Social media has never told a soul to sign up for it. They've never forced any individual on the face of this earth to sign up for it. Nobody has ever been forced. Never been forced to sign up for social media. So when I hear people saying social media, this and that, the first question I ask them is, did social media ever force you to sign up? Did social media ever force you to post certain things or say certain things? All the answers is no. One of the things that interests me is social media breaks. And I find social media breaks are interesting. I've never taken a social media break simply because, what's the word to use? not logical, but there's a word for it, you know. And I'm trying to get the word. I apologize to you guys. I'm just trying to find the word to use. But if you have self-awareness will allow you to control yourself and to control the things that you do and say. Nobody's perfect, but it will help you control a lot of things. It's a mental thing. First of all, if you take a social media break because of something that you don't like on social media, and then you come back and the same thing is on there, whose fault is it? Usually it's because you have decided not to change the things that you're viewing. I find this very, very simple and easy to deal with. If there's something on social media that bothers you, or it's annoying, or it's just something that really has no substance, and it has you rattled or just frustrated or angry, you need to unfollow or remove yourself from it completely. And you'll find if when you do that, the progress and the change happens immediately. So when you just decide you're taking a social media break, and then you come back and you say, oh, it's the same thing. Of course it's going to be the same thing. Because you haven't changed the way you view things. Or you haven't changed the way you've decided to modify yourself. You see, everybody wants everybody else to change, but they don't want to change themselves. If you understand what I'm saying. You want to see change. But when asked, do you want to change your habits, your style of how you view things and how you monitor things and how you just see things or whatever, you say no, but you want everybody else to change. That person's page or comments that you view, they're not going to change. So you have a choice. Either you could continue to view it and feel annoyed by it and waste your time, or you could just unfollow the person and move on and hopefully make a better decision. So my view on social media is very simple. It's a very powerful tool, and when used the right way, you don't need to take social media breaks. You can view it on Monday, view it on Tuesday, view it on Wednesday, and have no issues. And you don't have to spend 10 hours on it. I think a lot of people spend a lot of time on it because it's entertainment. There's gossip. There's instant news. Like, that's a very good part about social media. Like, especially with Twitter and Instagram. Like, if there's a trade, and I'm a big sports fan. NBA stuff. Football stuff. Baseball. Hockey. All that stuff. Anytime something happens, instantly change. The NFL, instantly. Before the news even thinks about talking about it or saying breaking news under the headlines, those two websites got that already penciled in, posted, and sent out. And it's probably been retweeted or reposted about 100 times within a matter of minutes. So there are some great things about social media. There's some great quotes, like I said earlier. Great stories. People starting business adventures and looking for support. Now, that's where my next topic is going to go to. For those of you out there that have started business adventures and use social media to help advance your business, to help promote your business, to help also potentially help others while you're going through your journey, your struggles. Respect to you. It's very tough because most times most people do not support you. A couple of years ago, I started a new chapter, sports performance program. I was wet behind the ears. I just had a couple of speed cones and a ladder that I got off Amazon. And then later on in the process, I acquired stuff. I also had people out there, all know who you are, provide me with equipment or just giving me advice about certain things to, get and use. And, I've also talked to trainers. I've also talked to people in the business behind the scenes, and they've been huge help. All those people out there that have been supportive, who have helped me out, who have shown me certain things, you guys know who you are. Big respect. Equipment, help, you know who you are. Big respect to you. You know who you are. So we don't need to get into names and start da-da-da-da-da-da. And I found that posting it on social media, the lack of support from people I thought would support me. So for those of you that are like, oh my gosh, my best friend and this person, don't be surprised. Because usually what's happening is you're taking yourself to another level. You're going out of your comfort zone. So now you're coming out of your comfort zone. It's like, okay, you're seeing a different side of things. You're seeing a different view of things. You're seeing life in a different perspective. And I found as social media became more effective for me, the support was from outside. Not from people I call friends or whatever you call them. It's from people outside. And it's funny enough, some of these people outside were some of the people that have led me to other connections, to other opportunities within the sports performance industry. It's a very, very wide open industry. There's so many people involved in it that train in so many different areas. There's so many different aspects, so many different forms of it, but it's all a huge family. There's a huge support, and I've talked to a few people who are in this business, some that are very, very successful. Same thing. Post on social media, nobody reposts their stuff, nobody supports them. They don't complain. They just go back and continue to do it. And I think that's the thing. When you're starting a business venture, a new career, or anything like that, don't expect anything from anybody. Now, there might be the one or two people that you expect things from because you know they're going to be there. That's different. But most times you're not going to get that support from people who you call your friends or your supposed family, because they're like, wait a minute, what are you doing? You're going outside that box. Most people in society love to live in that box, right? It's like people in retirement, right? Most people wait until they retire to travel and do all kinds of things. To me, that's the biggest farce I've ever heard in my life. I think it's egregious. I think if you have the opportunity to go out there and do amazing things now, why not do it? If you want to go to the Himalayas, or you want to go to Lima and climb the mountains, or you want to go on a cruise, or you just want to take a year off and travel Europe, why not do it? If you have the resources, you have the confidence in yourself, why not go out and do it? So again, back to social media business ventures, folks who are doing it right now, who are posting, keep doing it. You don't need a repost. People don't have to hit like on your stuff. They will see what you are doing and they will notice it. It's always the people who you think are not noticing are the ones that are noticing. It's always the people you feel that are just kind of, they don't want, no, they do care, And there are people that want to see you become very successful, and unfortunately, there are people that do not want you to be successful. So, with that being said, it's all predicated on how much you want to be successful. Don't worry about anybody else. So anybody that's using social media right now for business-like ventures and wants to be successful, coming from my experience in terms of even my little music thing that I'm doing, or do chapter, keep doing it. I love to see people become very successful. I haven't spent a lot of time on Instagram lately because it's just something that I'm not really interested in spending a lot of time on. For my personal reason, I think Instagram is like the newspaper sometimes. It's the same article. But there's once in a while, there's obviously something that's like, woo, let me check this out. Or there's some breaking news in sports, or there's a quote that kind of just impacts me, or some type of debate that kind of catches my eye, and then there's a link, so I go to that link. So there's always something good about Instagram, besides all the other crap, So most of you, some people, they just kind of whine about this person or the Kardashians and all these other people, whatever. If you don't like what they post, don't follow them. So that's my view on that. That's my whole social media take on this whole thing. We're about 15 minutes. I know it's short, but like I told you guys, that's how it's going to be. That's really all I got to say. My next podcast, which I'll be talking about another interesting subject, but I won't talk about it now. And I also have a sports one coming up because you know I got to do my sports. Sorry, folks, but for those of you that, don't like sports, you're going to get the sports from me. I'm going to be doing the sports part too. So the sports is coming up. So stay tuned for that. But once again, thank you for listening to this podcast. Again, sponsored by Anchor FM, sponsored by BeatFakMusic. It will be available on YouTube. So keep your eyes out for that. Check YouTube again. New Chapter, NUCHAPTOR. So New Chapter on YouTube. Audio Mac will be available also. So the link will be under there. And also, there's a project that I worked on in 2017 with my brother, B Enigma. Demo Sessions Volume 1. That link will also be available on this episode. So for those of you listening to you guys like real good hip-hop, real lyrics, real beats, real vibes, something that just attracts the soul, not just this crunk crap that you guys listen to. I'm not hating, I'm just calling it like I see it. Music is a powerful entity, and it hits the soul. But you gotta have the right formula to hit the soul. You got a lot of stuff today that's only good for about 2 weeks, and then it's garbage after that. So anybody that's interested in that link will be available. Demo Sessions Volume 1 will be available in this pod. It will be available on YouTube under this podcast. So stay tuned for that. Any questions or concerns or anything like that, the link will also be BeatFakMusic@gmail.com will be the link that will also be posted on this podcast. So once this podcast is done, you got some comments or anything that you like to add, you think I should talk about, BeatFakMusic@gmail.com, which will be available on the link. So for all you out there, thank you so much for listening again. I'm DJ Briscoe. I'm signing out. Have a good day, evening, night, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Stay focused, guidance, and blessings. Respect.